Hey guys, I know you can't see me right now. I'm driving to work. This has something that's been kind of sitting in my head that I kind of want to get out of my head before, I lose the words to say them, which I typically do a lot. You know, we have different paths that we go in life. And, through my years, I've seen people who've taken different paths than I have, both for the better and for the worse. And, it just seems to me that, there's some kind of uncontrollable feeling that I've always had, in my interactions with other people, as well as, while I'm left alone to dwell on my thoughts, that it's not an irritating feeling, but it's the best way to liken it is, it's like a sneeze that won't come out. It's there, but for some reason it just won't come out. It just won't explode out of you. And I have this vision of who it is and what it is that I want to be. And it's hard to articulate because when you have such a powerful image of something in your head, how do you get others to actually see that? How do you get somebody to see what you visualize in your head and what drives you and what motivates you every day? And I think that's a part of why I like writing more than I actually like speaking, just in terms of my motivational stuff, just because it's hard for me to verbalize the things that I feel on a daily basis. But, I try, because I want you guys to be able to get a voice or a face along with, the things that I post. How do you carry yourself when you feel as if there's something much, much greater for you in your future, and you're right there at the cusp of attaining that? It's a weird feeling for me because ever since I started Project Gladiator and ever since, I began the transformation that I began, I keep seeing something, and something in my brain keeps telling me, Wesly, you can be a great person in this world. Not just somebody who, they say some things to get out of a funk. You can be one of the true great people who've walked this planet. And that's something that I've set out to do, and that's something that I want for myself. So in some ways I am a typical person in that, I crack jokes and, I say dumb shit or whatever. I try to get laughs out of people. Sometimes, admittedly, I'm an asshole, but there's something that I feel like I can't unlock in my head. I'm sorry if this feels like a rant or, I'm kind of, jumbled in my feelings, but it's just something I need to say and get off my chest. Like, I feel like, in many regards, a lot of destinies are in my hands. I feel like I'm not just doing this for myself and to see myself improve. I feel like there's something much greater here at work to be accomplished. In a lot of ways, I feel like I hold the future of my family in my hands. I feel like I hold the future of my friends and loved ones in my hands, and even strangers, even people who come across something I've ever written or something I've ever said. I feel like I have this monumental responsibility to become a great person for those people. And to inspire people to get to a level to where they want to become great. You know, because a lot of people, they'll say they want to be comfortable. You know, they'll say they want to get by, and, you know, they just want to be stable and everything. And I feel like that's the wrong mind frame to have. You know, nobody wants to struggle, but you shouldn't only want to get by. You shouldn't only want to be doing good enough for yourself. We've been given an incredible computer. The greatest, most powerful computer that's ever been put into existence, called the mind. And it's such a complex and powerful thing that, you know, how could you not want to set forth to unlock as much power and as much potential as you can in that thing? There's not one person walking the world who isn't capable of truly great things for themselves, for the people they love, for humanity, you know. And I say this to people a lot. I don't feel like I'm fundamentally different than people. I'm different in my actions and my perspectives, and, you know, in a lot of ways, you know, how I carry myself or whatever. But I don't feel like I have something that other people don't have. And I feel like myself and others who are on this journey like me, we just have just a little bit more of a glimpse of what can be done if we achieve these things. You know, if we set out on this path of self-improvement, of self-discovery, of motivating, of lifting up others, of taking care of our minds and bodies and spirits. And, you know, I haven't lived the most cushy life, the easiest life. You know, I've been, and I'm still going through a lot of rough patches, you know, and those are things that keep me grounded in, you know, the reality of day-to-day life. But I've learned that these are all things that you can't allow to be shackled on your ankles, and you can't drag those things along with you. You know, I speak a lot about my money issues, and that's because that's always been an issue for me. You know, for example, right now, I need $250 by Friday, or, you know, I have financial consequences that are going to come upon me, you know, which at this point I'm used to. And, you know, when these things come upon me, I get upset, and, you know, negative things do flash in my brain. But I think I've come to master what the art is of living for what's coming. And I don't mean something that's coming 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I'm thinking of the absolute immediate next step. And if I can keep myself centered in that focus on the next step, and centered on where it is that I aim to be financially, career-wise, as a man, as an athlete, you know, as a human being in general, I don't think there's anything worldly that can break my spirit or bring me down. I like to think I'm probably one of the poorest rich people there is, because at the end of the day, no matter what's going on, you know, the things that are going on in my life, you know, I'm happy because I know that there's people who depend on me and are watching my exploits and what it is that I'm doing, and that's bringing them up. That's allowing them to look inside and find their own strength. And that's more important to me, honestly, than me being able to pay my bills on time, or able to eat on any given day. You know, I'm not a person who believes in karma at all. I don't do any of what I do because I think my positive energy being sent out into the universe is going to somehow come back to me in terms of good luck, good fortune, you know, whatever it is, you know, that people see in karma. I do the things that I do because I genuinely want to see people do better. And if I can make people around me do better, I don't have any doubts in my head that I can make myself do better. But there's certain ways that I want to do it. You know, could I have, you know, done something, you know, came up through the career ladder at the bowling alley I work at, or I used to work at, or, you know, something else like that, and been an assistant general manager or general manager right now, and been living, you know, comfortably? Yes. But I'm not going to short sell what I know my potential is in exchange for being able to pay the bills on time, or, you know, being able to eat, you know, 3 meals a day every day, or, you know, be able to take vacations or anything like that. What I'm trying to do now is an investment into the man that I want to become. And, you know, this is why I adopted the persona of the gladiator, because a gladiator's only two options are fight or die. There's no milling around. There's no area of neutrality. It's you fight and you win and you triumph and you hold on to your life, or you lay down and you die. I don't have neutrality on my priority list. I don't have make enough so that, you know, you don't have the monkey on your back. That's not on my priority list right now. The way I see it is, if I need to jump. I need to jump, and I need to trust that I'm going to land on my feet. And if I land on my face and everything goes to hell, I'm okay with that. At this point in my life, I'm okay with the possibility of everything that I'm doing right now not working out the way I envisioned it working out. And that's because my pursuit of my idea of success and who I want to be as a person, and who I want others to see me as a person, that path is much, much more important to me than just saying I made it. It's not enough just to make it for me. I want to make so much of an impact on my way to the top that nobody will ever forget that path. I don't want people to remember who I am a year from now, 6 months from now, 3 months from now, 10 years from now. You know, I don't want that to be the person, the Wesly that people remembered. I want came from nothing, broke, no life, all he does is work, all he does is grind, gave up sleep, gave up a social life, gave up so much to become the man he is at that point. I want that to be the Wesly that people remember. I enjoy the path I'm taking because the path I'm taking has showed me what, as a person, as a man, as an athlete, as a motivator, as whatever you want to call me, it showed me what I'm made of. It showed me that strength I have. Everybody has that strength inside them. But what defines you isn't whether or not you have that strength. It's whether or not you're courageous enough, if you're brave enough, if you're bold enough to actually go through the darkness to discover that strength. You never get over a fear until you force yourself to face that fear. If you're afraid of the dark, you're always going to be afraid of the dark until you cut those lights off and you show yourself that there's nothing there that can bring you down, that can kill you, that can hurt you. You have to triumph over everything that's trying to hold you down before you can take a look in the mirror and see who the real you is. The mirror's only going to tell you half of the story. The mirror will tell you what you look like. When you're on that path, the mirror will tell you your physical transformation. But your actions and what you stand for as a person is what will show you how you transform on the inside. And how you transform on the inside takes much, much more precedence over how you transform on the outside. That's why I say a lot, this is more than fitness. Fitness is the vehicle, but the goal here is to show everybody their worth, to show everybody their potential, to show everybody what can happen if you spark the minds of an entire nation of people and get them to realize that it's much, much more important than just what people can see. If there's any message, that my actions or anything that I say, that I want to get forward, it's that I've done it. I've been through hell. I still go through hell. But the difference between somebody who's been through hell and somebody who stays in hell is somebody who's been through hell is eventually going to escape. Somebody who stays in hell accepts that position and they sum that up to what their life is at that point. I don't intend to stay broke forever. I don't intend to literally work myself to death, seeing as I've already been in a serious car accident from falling asleep at the wheel, and I've had several close calls since then. I don't intend to stay the way that I am on a superficial level forever, but the amount of drive, the amount of passion, and my unwillingness to give up is something that is going to be a part of me forever. Exacerbate what your hidden strength and your inner passion is, and show where your heart is, and I promise you there's nothing you can't defeat. There's nothing in this world that we as a people can't defeat if we're willing to look inside ourselves and improve ourselves. If you want to change the world, you have to change yourself first. The world is a pretty bad place right now, but the world is just a culmination of experiences of individuals that's brought forth collectively. If we all focused on changing ourselves now, improving ourselves now, actually getting out there and putting it on the line to be who we want to be now, there's nothing in this world that's irreparable. We can save the world, but it can't just be a couple of people doing it. It can't be one person trying to speak for the world in trying to improve the lives of 7 billion, all for themselves. We all have to make it our responsibility to be the best us that we can be. That's going to be the key, and that's what I work every day for. I work every day to try to show people that the things that the media and the things that other people tell you is wrong with the world isn't what's wrong with the world. Our inability to look inside ourselves and say to ourselves every day, what can I do to improve myself? What can I do to improve my fitness level, my health? What can I do to improve my relationships with my friends and my family? What can I do to impart wisdom on other people and in turn become a student to other people's wisdom? How can I turn who I am now into who I need to be? Who, as the architect of my own destiny, I'm fated to be. It's bigger than what you guys think it is. And I've undergone such a mental transformation over the last year. It's given me a lot of clarity of mind because I used to be a very angry person. And I'm not that person anymore. My circumstances haven't changed, but the way I view them and the way I allow them to make me feel have changed. I don't cry myself to sleep anymore. I used to. I don't cry myself to sleep anymore. I take a look. I have a broad view of everything in my life and in other people's lives I want to change, and I use that. It's not about the 100 healthy roars a lion can send out. It's that one fierce, vicious, horrifying roar that'll change things, that'll change his entire kingdom. Have a good night, guys. Be safe.